My wife, Sofia, gripes my paycheck's too small but won't lift a finger to help, splurging while I slave away. After her secret $2,000 loan from her parents surfaced, I'm fed up and ready to face her or walk out. Hey, I'm Logan. I'm 28 years old, and I've been married to my wife, Sofia, who's 24, for about 3 years now. I'm posting this because I'm at my wit's end, and I need some outside perspective. I work a full-time job as a warehouse supervisor. It's not glamorous, but it pays the bills, or at least it used to. Lately, Sofia's been on my case nonstop about how my income isn't enough, but when I bring up her getting a job or helping out financially, she shuts it down hard. It's been like this for months, and I'm starting to feel like I'm drowning here. I don't know if I'm being unreasonable or if she's just not seeing how unfair this is. So, some background. We met about 5 years ago through mutual friends. She was fresh out of college, working part-time at a coffee shop while figuring out what she wanted to do. I was already at the warehouse, making decent money, nothing crazy, but enough to live on. She was funny, laid back, and we hit it off fast. Back then, money wasn't a big deal. She'd chip in for dates sometimes, and I'd cover rent when she moved in with me after a year. We talked about the future a lot, marriage, maybe kids someday, and she always said stuff like, if we ever get tight on cash, I'll step up, no problem. That stuck with me, you know? Like, we were a team. Fast forward to 3 years ago, we got married. Small ceremony, nothing fancy. Her parents helped pay for it, which was nice since they've always been pretty well off. Sofia quit the coffee shop job a few months before the wedding, saying she wanted a fresh start after we tied the knot. I was cool with it. I figured she'd take some time, find something new, and we'd figure it out together. Except she never did. 3 years later, she's still at home, no job, no side hustle, nothing. Meanwhile, I'm pulling 50-hour weeks, sometimes more, just to keep us afloat. The main issue started about a year ago. Rent went up. Thanks, landlord, and groceries got pricier too. My paycheck covers the basics: rent, utilities, car payment, insurance. But there's not much left after that. I told Sofia we needed to cut back a little, maybe skip takeout for a while. She lost it. I'm not eating ramen every night, Logan. You need to figure this out. That's when she started with the "your income isn't enough" line. At first, I thought she was just stressed, so I let it slide. But it kept coming. Every time a bill came in, every time she saw something online she wanted but we couldn't swing, it was, if you made more, this wouldn't be a problem. Okay, fine, I get it, money's tight. So I suggested she could help. Nothing big, just part-time, maybe retail or something remote since she's always on her laptop anyway. She looked at me like I'd asked her to rob a bank. I didn't sign up to be the breadwinner, she said. That's your job. I reminded her what she said before we got married, about stepping up if we needed it. And she just rolled her eyes. Things change, Logan. I'm not working some minimum wage gig just because you can't handle it. That stung. I'm not asking her to be the breadwinner. I just want some help, so I'm not killing myself to keep us going. It's not like she's busy all day. She sleeps until noon most days, scrolls TikTok, watches Netflix. Sometimes she'll clean or cook, but it's rare. Meanwhile, I'm up at 6 a.m., home at 7 p.m., exhausted. I've even started driving for a rideshare app on weekends to pad our budget. She hates that, though. Says I'm never around, and she's lonely. I don't know what she expects. I can't be home and make more money at the same time. Then there's her spending. Oh man, this drives me up the wall. She's always ordering stuff, clothes, makeup, random Amazon crap. Last month, she dropped $200 on a jacket because it was on sale. I asked her where the money came from since I handle the bank account. Turns out she's been dipping into our emergency savings. We had maybe $1,500 saved up, and now it's down to $900 because she needed stuff. When I got mad, she said, "You're overreacting. It's our money, not just yours." Sure, but I'm the only one putting anything in that account. Her parents don't help either. They live a couple hours away, and we see them every few months. They're retired, got a nice house, savings, the works. Every time we visit, her dad makes these little digs. Still at the warehouse, huh? Tough gig. Her mom's worse. She'll pull Sofia aside and I'll overhear stuff like, "You deserve better than scraping by, honey." Sofia comes back from those trips acting like I'm failing her because we don't have a McMansion yet. I've tried talking to them, explaining we're doing okay, but could use a hand if she'd work too. Her dad just laughed and said, My girl doesn't need to slave away. That's what husbands are for. Cool, thanks, man. It's gotten worse lately because now she's on this kick about kids. She wants one, like yesterday. I love her, and yeah, I want kids eventually, but I keep saying we can't afford it right now. Daycare's insane, diapers, doctor bills. We'd be underwater in a month. She doesn't care. People figure it out, she says. You're just being cheap. Cheap. I'm busting my ass while she's buying $50 candles. Last week, we had a huge fight about it. She said, if you were a real man, you'd make it work. I snapped back. If you were a real partner, you'd help me instead of sitting there judging. She stormed off, slept on the couch, hasn't talked to me in days. That fight wasn't even the worst part. The resentment's been building for a while, and it's leaking out over stupid stuff. She leaves dishes in the sink. I blow up about it. I forget to take out the trash because I'm zonked from work. She calls me lazy. It's like we're roommates who hate each other half the time. I'm so tired, you guys. I feel like I'm carrying everything. Money, chores, planning, and she's just along for the ride. Mad I'm not doing it better. Our apartment doesn't help. It's this cramped one-bedroom with peeling paint and a fridge that hums like a lawnmower. I come home to her packages stacked by the door, her shoes everywhere, and it hits me. This is my life now. I used to think we'd move up, better place, maybe a house, but not like this. Not with me grinding alone while she's got her feet up, complaining. I've got some history that makes this harder too. Growing up, my parents weren't great with money. Dad worked construction, Mom stayed home, and they fought constantly about bills. We lost our house when I was 12, had to move into a trailer. I swore I'd never let that happen to me, so I've always been careful, saving, budgeting. Sofia knows that, but she acts like it's no big deal. We're not that broke, she'll say. Maybe not yet, but I see the cliff coming, and she's blind to it. The rideshare gig's been a lifeline, but it's brutal. Last Saturday, I drove till 2 a.m., made $80 after gas. Got home, crashed, woke up to her whining I didn't take her out for brunch. I lost it. I was working so we don't get evicted. I yelled. She cried, said I'm mean now, and locked herself in the bedroom. I felt like a jerk after, but am I wrong? I'm trying to keep us above water, and she's mad I'm not fun anymore. Her old promises keep haunting me. Before the wedding, we'd talk late at night, dreaming about our life. She'd say, if it ever gets tough, I'll get a job, we'll figure it out together. I believed her. Now, when I bring it up, she acts like I'm making it up. I never said that. She'll snap, or that was before I knew how hard it'd be. Hard for who? She's not the one with blisters from hauling boxes all day. I've tried compromising. I said, what if you just work a few hours a week? Something easy. She shot it down. I'm not wasting my life at some dead-end job. But I am. I've asked what she does want. Career, hobby, anything. She shrugs. I'll figure it out later. Later's now, though, and I can't keep waiting. Her parents came up last month, and it was a disaster. Her mom saw our place, made this face like she smelled something bad, and said, Sofia, you shouldn't have to live like this. Her dad pulled me aside, said, you gotta step up, son. She's not happy. I wanted to scream, tell her to get off her, but I just nodded. They left, and Sofia spent the next week moping about how embarrassed she was. I said, if it bothers you that much, let's both work on it. She didn't answer, just turned up the TV. The kid thing keeps coming up too. She'll scroll Instagram, show me baby pics, say, we could do this. I ask how, and she gets mad. You're so negative, she says. I'm not negative, I'm realistic. I ran the numbers. Daycare alone would eat half my check. She thinks I'm exaggerating, but I've seen my coworkers with kids struggling. I don't want that for us. Last night was the breaking point. I got home late, feet killing me, and saw another package, some $60 skincare thing. I asked why she bought it. I deserve nice things, she said. I blew up. I deserve a break. I deserve a wife who doesn't watch me sink and blame me for it. She called me selfish, said I don't care about her happiness. We yelled for an hour, and she ended up crashing at a friend's place. I haven't heard from her since. I'm sitting here now, staring at our bank account, $200 till payday, rent's $1,100. I don't know what to do. I love her, but I'm so angry, so tired. I feel like a failure, but then I think, am I? I'm doing everything I can. She's not. I saw some posts on Reddit about stuff like this, and it made me wonder if I'm missing something. Maybe I'm too hard on her. Maybe I should just suck it up and keep going? I don't know. So, yeah, that's my mess. Am I the jerk here? Am I out of line for wanting her to pitch in? I just need some clarity because I'm losing it over here. Thanks for reading if you made it this far.
Update incoming.
Update. This is what has happened since then. So, it's been about 10 months since I posted last, and holy crap, a lot has gone down. I didn't expect things to spiral the way they did, but here I am, still trying to wrap my head around it all. Sofia and I have been through the ringer, and I've got some updates, some good, mostly messy, and one new problem that's got me stressing all over again. Buckle up, because this is a wild ride. After that big fight I wrote about, where Sofia stormed off to her friend's place, things didn't just magically get better. She came back the next day, but it was tense. We barely talked for a week, just tiptoeing around each other in the apartment. I was still pissed about her spending and her refusing to work, and she was mad I'd blown up at her. Eventually, I sat her down and said, "Look, we can't keep doing this. Either we figure out a plan together, or we're done." I wasn't even sure I meant it. Divorce felt huge, but I was so fed up, it just came out. She didn't take it well. She cried, called me unfair, said I was abandoning her. But then she surprised me. She agreed to look for a job. I was skeptical, figured she'd apply to one place, call it a day, and say it was too hard. But she actually started sending out resumes. A couple weeks later, she landed something part-time at a boutique downtown, 20 hours a week selling overpriced clothes. It wasn't much, maybe $400 a month after taxes, but it was a start. I felt this tiny spark of hope, like maybe we could turn it around. For a bit, it seemed like we might. She'd come home tired but kind of proud, telling me about customers or whatever. I cut back on the rideshare shifts since her paycheck covered some extras, groceries, her little splurges. I even thought, okay, this teamwork thing might work. But it didn't last. About 3 months in, she started complaining. The job was exhausting, her boss was a jerk, the hours sucked. I tried to encourage her. It's just part-time, you're doing great. But she'd snap, you don't get how hard this is. Then one day, she just quit. No warning, no new job lined up, nothing. Came home and said, "I'm done with that place. I can't do it anymore. I lost it. Sofia, we need that money. You can't just bail." She fired back. "I tried, okay? You wanted me to work, I did, and it sucked. You figure it out now." We were right back where we started. Her on the couch, me stressing over bills. Except now, I was even madder because she dangled hope in front of me and yanked it away. That fight ended with me sleeping on the floor because I couldn't stand being near her. Things got uglier from there. She went back to her old ways, ordering stuff online, dipping into savings. I caught her buying a $150 purse a month after quitting, and when I confronted her, she said, "I earned that money. I can spend it." Earned it? She worked 3 months. I'd been covering us for years. I started hiding the debit card, which made her furious. She accused me of controlling her. I wasn't trying to. I just didn't want us broke. Her parents got involved again, too. She must have vented to them, because her mom called me out of the blue one day. "Logan, Sofia says you're being hard on her. She's not cut out for retail. Why can't you make this work?" I tried explaining, calmly at first, that I'm doing everything I can, but we need 2 incomes. Her mom just sighed, said, "She's sensitive, you know that. You need to take care of her." I hung up feeling like I'd been punched. They kept filling her head with this idea that I'm the bad guy, and she ate it up. Around month 6 after my last post, we hit a breaking point. Rent was late, first time ever, because savings were gone. I'd been picking up extra warehouse shifts, but it wasn't enough. I begged Sofia to pitch in, even just for a month, till we caught up. She refused. "I'm not going back to some soul-sucking job," she said. That night, I packed a bag and crashed at my buddy's place. I told her I needed space, but honestly, I was half ready to call it quits. I stayed away for 2 weeks, and it was the first time in years I didn't feel like I was suffocating. She blew up my phone the whole time, angry texts, then crying voicemails. "Come home, we can fix this," she'd say. I didn't know if I believed her, but I missed her, you know? Stupid, maybe, but I did. So I went back. She promised, again, that she'd figure something out. This time, she said she'd try freelancing online, maybe graphic design, since she's decent with artsy stuff. I was skeptical but said okay, as long as she stuck with it. For a couple months, It was shaky but better. She started a little gig making logos for small businesses. Nothing huge, maybe $200 a month if she hustled. I kept my expectations low, but she seemed into it, and I didn't have to nag her. We were still tight on cash, but I thought maybe, just maybe, we'd found a groove. I even apologized for storming out, told her I wanted us to work. She hugged me, said she'd try harder. I let myself hope again. Then the new problem hit. About a month ago, I found out she's been hiding something big. I was paying bills online and saw a weird charge, $300 to some random account. I asked her about it, and she got shifty, said it was nothing. I pressed, and after a fight, she admitted it. She'd borrowed money from her parents. Not just that $300, $2,000 total over the last few months, behind my back. She'd been using it for her treats, clothes, takeout, that purse, because her freelance cash wasn't enough, and she didn't want me judging her for dipping into our account. I was floored. Why didn't you tell me? I asked. She shrugged, said, "You'd just get mad." Yeah, because we're in debt to her parents now. They didn't even tell me. They just handed her cash like it's no big deal. Except it is. Her dad called last week, casually mentioned we owe them, and suggested I step up to pay it back. I didn't even know about it till then. Sofia acted like I was overreacting, said, "They're family, it's fine." It's not fine. $2,000 is half our rent for 2 months, and I'm already stretched thin. Now I'm stuck. We're still in the same cramped apartment, still scraping by, but with this debt hanging over us. Sofia's freelancing has slowed. She says she's burned out, and I'm back to extra shifts, barely sleeping. I'm furious she hid this, but she's playing victim, saying I'm too hard on her. Her parents think I'm the problem because I can't provide enough to keep her from borrowing. I feel like I'm in quicksand. Every time I think we're climbing out, something drags us deeper. I don't know where we go from here. I love her, but this debt thing's a gut punch. I'm paying for her choices, and she doesn't see it. Part of me wants to leave, but I'm scared of starting over, scared I'm giving up too soon. I'm exhausted, broke, and honestly kinda lost. So, yeah, that's the update. Am I the one screwing up here? Should I just suck it up and deal? I'm all ears if you've got thoughts.
Thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the story. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss our daily updates.